Okay, so last episode we transitioned all our characters into Transcendent gear. Apart from the boots here on our Adept. Got a DPS set, tower booster set, and a second DPS set. Here are our stats currently. None of this gear is upgraded, of course, because we are at 0 mana. And we did not bother upgrading our Huntress auras, looking pretty juicy. Now, I do want to check real quick if... Does not look like this set is better than what we currently have on. Okay. This episode we are jumping into Moonbase on Nightmare Hardcore. Gonna get ourselves a Fusion Rift. That's the idea anyway. Now, you want to, if you still care about fish in a bowls anyway, you want to, although you do get a lot of time on this map, you want to go and do the DDR machine pretty, quickly, so as not to waste any time. Or I suppose you could build everything with the current mana you have and then go do the dance machine and then build with the rest of the mana, but I'm gonna do it this way. Whoops. The fish on higher difficulties do get better, but they don't really get much better to the point where it matters. So if you just want to get better fish, you are probably better off doing it on hard or insane. But I'm specifically trying to get a good weapon here, so that requires us to do it on Nightmare. Also, what is it just me or does the game feel like extra loud? There we go. That seems a bit better. So this is slightly different from when I did it on hard. Instead of placing my towers here for this middle core, I'm placing them over there, which fixed some issues. And then for over here, I'm going to be placing it like this. Just have to temporarily boost that onto the buff beam, I believe. Yeah. And then we are going to be placing 2 reflect beams, one here. It is not common, but there can be an archer that will like hang out of your aura range and snipe that. Let's see. I think I also want a reflect beam here. And I think that's it. Let's get some apprentice towers down. We are going to be using spore towers for the first time, I believe. Not used them so far, but I noticed that they helped a lot with consistency. We're not going to put one there. We don't need one there. Okay. So we're not going to have enough mana for another golem. A little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. Just going to want to get some upgrades on these beams really quickly. Very nice. Not too bad. Right, I remembered what I did differently now. I did a web wall. Put our golem here. The challenge for this core was finding a good spot where ogres wouldn't accidentally, like clip the core when they were hitting the golem. Because when I had them over here, the ogre would stand like right here and be able to hit the golem, and then the swing would hit the core. But over here I've had more success. So I'm going to put my web wall like this. Now the spore towers, they are pretty interesting because they... Here, I'll just look at the tower stats real quick. So they have an AoE, kind of like LTs, where anything comes into their range, they release a circle of projectiles, basically, and anything in that AoE that can be damaged by poison will be quote-unquote, infected with the spore, and it'll do poison damage, damage over time, and there you can see the poison damage. It also has a armor reduction, and basically what that means is just more damage. You can think of it as just that enemy takes 13.55% extra damage from other sources. And then there you can see the max spore targets and the spore range. So what that means is when a enemy that is infected dies, it will spread the spore in a radius around it. So a target that has got a spore on it, it dies, and then that spore can spread in a radius around it. Its main use is just the armor, or the extra damage, though. Helps a lot with ogres, and at this point in the game, Jin, that you need that extra damage for. It really helps. It also just covers the weakness of LTs, where LTs aren't great at, once they start chaining, dealing damage to enemies like directly close to them, and that spore tower sort of gives you that extra close range damage. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure how viable it's going to be for me to do 4 apprentices on the last wave. Because this map's last wave with 4 characters in can get pretty difficult. So I'm thinking Jester with 3 apprentices. That's not going to be ideal for getting pet rewards, but I think it's going to have to do. once I upgrade, once I'm able to upgrade my armor, I definitely think I'll be able to just AFK the last wave. So at the moment, just needing some more mana. And that'll come with just, you know, playing the game. Just the more maps you run, the more mana you'll get. I don't expect that I'll get a good Fusion Rift immediately, so I will be farming this map a decent amount, or enough to get a okay Fusion Rift. And just by doing that will give me enough mana to get some upgrades going. Get my apprentice set fully upgraded first, and then move on to EV probably, or auras. Definitely auras. Ooh, okay. I keep forgetting that I have to watch out for my positioning when I wheel, because ogres will just immediately aggro towards me. Oh, we've got all the important towers fully upgraded now. Oh, and I think I may have... I did use web walls before, but I don't think I explained them. They apply the same sort of debuff as spiders do, but this damage debuff does scale with your tower stats. So whereas a spider is just always 100% more damage, this scales. So mine currently is at 32.23 increased damage, or more damage from the enemy takes. And then the movement speed debuff, I think, is higher. I actually don't know if it's similar to spiders. And then the duration obviously scales. The duration is the only stat that scales with how long you make it. So if you place a longer web wall, the web debuff will last for longer, but none of the other stats increase. None of the other effects, I should say, of the web wall increase. And this weapon? This map is really fast, so... Already at the last wave, and let's add in our characters. Get our apprentice in for that juicy 33% builder bonus, and I do not believe we have enough apprentices to do this. So let's make 2 more. Alright. Where did those get placed? Are they on the bridge? Yeah, okay. Just as long as they're not aggroing anything down here. Let's get that upgraded. Alright. I'm going to throw out a wheel right at the start of the wave here. Okay, everything's going well. Looks good over there. Gonna get these repaired real quick. And I got a wheel coming up soon, so we'll throw that out. Very nice. Oh, where's that ogre going? Listen, buddy, you're not interested in that core. Okay, he's just running around, I guess. Oh, is he gonna come back? Well, that was interesting. Got a hyper rifle on our jester. Let's see, how long did that take? 6 minutes, 16 combat. Pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Let's see, what do we get? Got some fish. Obviously. Some decent ones by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an upgrade. Yikes. That is an upgrade for our huntress, at least. Well, this was an unsuccessful run, but yeah. How much mana did we get from that, though? 500 mil. Okay. And let's see if any of these fish are an upgrade. I think... Well, I should probably check Apprentice first. No, I'm not really interested in any of these. What is this fully upgraded? Well, I probably shouldn't have used... Well, whatever. I'm still not going to use that. Okay. We did level up, though, which is really nice. Level 79. So this is actually a good way to level up your apprentice. You can farm fusion rifts and obviously get XP on the last wave. I suppose you could have it in for the whole run. And that would get you up to 83 and you can start equipping Supremes. If you have any. You could do that with all your characters, actually. I recommend that. During all of the waves, depending on, you know, your stats, if you have more than mine, then you can easily have 4 characters in during the whole run for XP. But if not, then, you know, just have like 1 or 2. Right, let's get this. It's a little bit of a hit to the HP, but since we're using gas traps anyway, we're not going to be using those charges very quickly anyway. Now, actually, I don't believe this had range, did it? No. It is a lot more damage, though. Let's see, what does that put us to? 3k? Honestly? Yeah, I'm going to use this for now. Let's see. Yeah. I think we'll use that fish. Let's get a better one on our hermit, actually. Now I could... Yeah, I'll take this one. We can get... what do I care more about? Probably EV. That's another thing as well, because you'll be getting staffs, you can get weapons for your EV as well. Okay, that's just better. Every stat is better. Now let's get... because we definitely have one better than this dice. Let's see. Got one with good damage, HP, yep, that one. And... that one. Now just Huntress left, right? Yep. Just get one on our Huntress. Go with this one, I suppose. Doesn't really matter. And now I'm going to spend the mana that we've just earned on upgrading this gear. There we go. Got one piece to just over half upgrades there. Got 3k apprentice now, 3k auras, looking very nice. Right, well, since this map was fairly short, I'm just gonna run it again, and we'll see what we get. Hopefully a better... Oh, actually, I'll showcase this. Not that it might not show immediate results to begin with, but if you actually run with hardcore turned off, I believe this actually increases the chances of getting... Oh, I can't remember which way around it is. Basically, if you run it with hardcore, you get less ults, like the rarity of the rewards is lower on average, but they roll with higher stats. But if you have hardcore turned off, then you're more likely to get an ultimate, you know, like a higher quality reward, but the stats will be lower. So we can try a run on without hardcore, because it has more of a chance of giving us an ult Fusion Rift. Now the ult Fusion Rift that we get will probably have lower stats than if we were running this on hardcore. But all we really care about on the Fusion Rift in my situation is that it has a decent amount of upgrades so that we can get a high base damage on it. So it's definitely worth doing. It just means that I would advise doing it with hardcore turned off after you have decent fish, because the fish you're going to get with hardcore turned off are going to be worse. I'm pretty terrible at this, but it's fine. As long as it gets me a positive score, that's all that matters, right? Not trying to get 42 or anything, because treadmills on treadmills are the biggest waste of time. Now that I think about it, do I want... No, I want to keep them there. I was just thinking a different aura position might be worth, but I like that one. So the idea for having the Spore Tower there is that it can hit the enemies that come out of here as well. That's why I don't bother placing one here. Rather have another LT there. I'm not sure if that's actually working how I want it to, but that's the thought process anyway. It seems to be pretty good, considering the results we got last map. Forgot to get that chest down here. Okay, so let's add in... Wrong keybind. Let's add in our apprentice for the whole run. See how much XP we can get. Ooh, that is annoying. I don't believe we... Yeah, we don't get the web wall now. Actually. Does that just completely ruin it? We don't get the... Oh no, we do get to still place a golem. Oh no, it only removed one... one DU. Okay. I was looking at the 94 and thinking that that was my total DU for some reason. What am I missing? How am I still able to place a web wall? What? I'm so confused. Did I really not have capped DU last... Oh, it's because I replaced the reflect beam over here. Yeah, we'll have to see what it's like without that. I know it's doable without that reflect, but... Just a weak point of the build. Now that is interesting how my golem was just AFK there. I wonder if he's like too close to the wall or something. Wonder what's damaging that core. Maybe there's still some issues with the ogres clipping the core with their club. Let's see this guy. Interesting. Looks like our stuff got pushed off the buff beam there from a Sharken. I've never had that happen before. Okay. I think luckily for the golem he walks right back onto the buff beam. Oh wait, I have her in game right here. Well, we don't have any DU anymore, so I guess I'm placing a fireball tower. This'll be interesting. And by interesting, I mean probably losing. Let's see. Can we do this with 2 less LTs? We'll only have 2 LTs in total. I'm not hopeful. Okay, let's get a wheel. Really want to make sure the stuff doesn't die over here. Yeah, this ain't looking too good. Let's get our wheel off. Very nice. Hopefully we can get over here in time. Seems to be going fine. Yeah. Jins didn't manage to desummon anything. Very nice. Nice. We can do the last wave with only 2 LTs, turns out. Got another hyper rifle on our Jester. That's not ideal. Ooh, that one could be a nice upgrade. Ooh, and there you go. That's a nice representation of what I was talking about. So we have hardcore turned off and we got 3 ultimate fusion rifts and a hyper rifle, which is trash. So yeah, there's a pretty good showcase of hardcore off equals more ultimates, but lower quality ultimates. And wow, this one's really nice for our Jester. This one, oh, if that range was higher, that would have been good. Didn't get any good guardians. Nice. So now the goal is to get the Jester to level 90, and we can equip this. And this is going to be our entry into Spring Valley, basically. Damn, I'm happy with this. Okay, so let's just go over how to upgrade DPS stuff now that we got something that's actually semi-endgame. So you can hold down both mouse buttons for staffs and they'll automatically charge to a... Basically, it's not an optimal amount of damage. It's... Actually, let's just go back to Tavern. It's roughly 70 to 75% of the maximum charge damage by holding down both buttons. It used to be a lot worse. It used to be the minimum damage. But now you can see each projectile... Okay, they're hitting for different amounts, but... You can see it's like... The full charge is 18.9, and then if I hold down, it's 14.4. So it's a pretty good compromise for not having to click or use a macro. So what that means is you want to max charge speed bonus completely, like on every single staff. Basically, anyway. There's a couple of exceptions, I think, but for the most part, at every DPS staff, you want a max charge speed bonus because it means that you're going to hit the optimal charge damage more when you hold down both buttons, or it's the optimal charge damage is going to be higher, I should say. So the first thing we want to do is just max that. Now we don't actually want to... It's not that important to max projectile speed because we're mainly going to be using this in close range. So in my opinion, I would only get this to around 20k. But it is only, 10 upgrades. So you could max it. And then for a Fusion Rift, you don't care about the additional elemental damage, it's just the base damage. And 5 is the max additional projectiles, so you can just dump the rest into base damage. And we used all our mana for that, so we have a 21k staff right there. And now the only goal is to get to level 90, and then we can do Spring Valley. Get ourselves a chicken baller for our tower booster, and a DPS pet for our monk. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I'll do some leveling. I'll do some more moon base probably. See if we can get ourselves a builder staff as well. Probably get our builder apprentice up to level 90. So we can equip an alt Fusion Rift if we get one. But yeah. That's going to be it.